All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is safe to say that the Wuthering Waves 2.3 anniversary had a couple of things, mainly its rewards, that were not well received by the player base. And boy, oh boy, did they come out with quite the response. And so basically, what we're going to be seeing here in this broadcast, and we'll just go ahead and read it along together, skip some of the parts that maybe don't matter too much, and then get to the good meaty parts. We're going to talk about some of the ways that they're going to be compensating the players, and of course, what this all means for the remainder of the patch. Because I think there's been a massive amount of misinformation going on. There's a lot of Hoyo Shill AstroTurfers. There's a lot of naturally disgruntled players, but there's a lot of people spreading around fake leaks, clarifications that Kuro's had to make themselves, and even some content creators going around and pushing forward some misinformation. So with that, let's just get the straight facts. To our dear rovers, after the Wuthering Waves version 2.3 preview special broadcast, we received plenty of suggestions, thoughts, and criticisms from you. We've been paying close attention to all the feedback, and we'd like to take this opportunity to address your concerns and sincerely apologize for the disappointment. And so basically, they're talking about how the roadmap had allocated development resources to an anniversary experience that is relaxing and entertaining, but they didn't really meet it. They fell short in how the broadcast was structured, scripted, and presented, and led to a poor viewing experience. Probably due to the fact that A, they had a lot more rewards planned that they were going to announce at different times. My viewpoint is, without knowing things like Astrite count, without knowing things like Astrite counts for any single event other than like this login one, I do believe that they actually had more rewards planned and simply was not able to convey how much of those rewards were actually planned in an effective manner across the live stream. And the end result was things like this, where a simple screen that says more events and updates are coming soon, which was shown during the live stream, right? This was like while like a code was going on, people aren't really paying attention. This was something that maybe a developer should have said. This was something that people should have been focusing on more, but they kind of just had it in the background. It wasn't announced. And the end result was that, in my opinion, there were a lot more rewards actually planned than what was shown during the live stream, but it just wasn't clear to players. And so the only thing that people really able to focus on was like the 300 Astrite over here, the 5 coming from here, the 10 from there, and obviously the 10 from this event as well. And the end result was that the vagueness and the idea that they were going to tease more and more stuff, unfortunately, meant that people really thought that the number of rewards was way less than what it actually is, because they didn't know yet. And unfortunately, there were a lot of CCs that ran with the idea that these 37 pulls were all we were going to get. I was very firm in my belief that we should simply wait until we hear more further details because of how many other events we had going on in the patch. But unfortunately, the narrative kind of just drove that like, oh, this 37 is all we're going to get. And I've always, had the viewpoint of, we could just wait. We could just have some patience and see what those final actual numbers are before making a judgment on the entire quality of the rewards of the patch. And, it is what it is. I'm still of the viewpoint that it was really easy to farm some hate during that time, gain some traction that way. And, if that's what people wanted to do, that's what they wanted to do. And I'm glad that the devs are over here just deciding to clarify that up front and probably just reveal more information of what's going on over here. So yeah, they want to acknowledge certain shortcomings in the content management, preparation, and delivery. This is the thing. They're not even talking about the rewards here. They're not even talking about a lack of rewards. They're more so talking about how they managed, prepared, and delivered it. And so this is the thing. I think that's pretty much a confirmation that there was more planned, and it simply wasn't announced in a good way. So do keep that in mind as we go through and hear more of the anniversary announcements as time goes on. What happened has shown us even more clearly that Wuthering Waves' accomplishments over the past year would not have been possible without our rovers, especially those that have been here from the start. We want you to know that we are planning future versions with you in mind, so please stay tuned for more updates. And I assume what this means is that there's probably going to be some additional stuff on top of this initial compensation that's going to be coming in the next few days. Gonna get news on that. We also recognize that there is still much room for improvement in how we operate and support the game long term. We're committed to growing and refining every aspect of WuWa. To express our gratitude and sincerest apologies, we'll be launching a login event this week. And so before the anniversary, I assume, because there's still about like 8 days left until the anniversary, we'll be launching a login event this week where the following content will be available to unlock and claim. The opening time is going to be given in a later announcement, and that's going to be 10 limited pulls, 10 limited weapon pulls, and then 10 standard pulls as a whole. And so that's the thing, right? I'm not sure if this is going to happen directly before the patch, but the way that they're saying it's going to happen this week is a little bit interesting. This might be a pre-anniversary sort of reward. The anniversary is in 8 days. And so this is probably something that's not even factored into the 2.3 patch. And so a lot of people are saying, well, I remember seeing this post before in the WuWa's subreddit. They should have just done this again. I guess they're doing it. They are just doing this again, but it's happening before the anniversary this time. And these are essentially the same exact rewards that have been listed in this announcement over here. But boy, oh boy, I'm glad, if you're still here, that I've been able to explain to you how this compensation is happening, how it isn't necessarily related to the actual rewards happening in the patch, and it's more so related to the communication, because there has been an absolute shit ton of misinformation regarding this specific reward of 10 limited pulls, 10 weapon pulls, and 10 standard pulls. Because boy, oh boy, a lot of people, like I've mentioned before in past videos on my channel, a lot of people are simply looking for the opportunity, right? We've even got the video over here. Oyo Shill sabotage the anniversary feedback. You can go check that out for more details on what brigading members of other games are doing to try to sabotage this anniversary. A lot of people are just looking for the opportunity to jump down WuWa's throat, spread misinformation, and try to sow as much chaos as possible. And this is the thing. From Wuthering Waves on Bilibili regarding the fake screenshot of the alleged rewards. And so basically some context on this is that there was a CN comment section that basically just said these rewards that we're seeing over here, the 10 pulls of each type, they're going ahead and they're only giving them and pushing them forward because it was a past event that was in the beta. And so I am unfortunately going to have to break one principle that I typically have. I don't, I never really show leaks for any game unless I feel like it is a major issue that does need to be discussed or misinformation that does need to be clarified. And I do believe that this is an example. Given the fact that Wuthering Waves themselves have made a post, I do believe that this is an example of a time where it's okay. It's on the WuWa's official Twitter. Okay, all right, we'll check it out then. Yep. All right, WuWa's got the post over here. It has come to our, and that's literally 16 minutes ago, or yeah. It has come to our attention that certain unauthorized screenshots of the in-game event page have been circulating in the community. And so this is the situation. There have been people that have been saying that this compensation of the 30 pulls was already planned and that it was already going to be in the game. And so Kuro's just lied. They're just pushing it forward. This was something that they were already going to give anyways. And so because of that, this isn't actually real compensation. These devs actually aren't listening. They're just lying to you and, giving you something that you were already going to get, but just making it sooner. This isn't real compensation. You should be asking for more. It was a lie. We have confirmed through internal review that these were illegally leaked screenshots of work-in-process assets from the early development stage of version 2.3's Gilded Night Market event. This event right here. And so they were going ahead and with the placeholder images for this event, people were saying that Kuro Games had already planned these 30 pulls. And as you can clearly see over here, the Gilded Night Market event has way different rewards. There are 10 limited pulls, but everything else is pretty much completely fucking different. And I'll just show you all a quick excerpt of what it actually looked like. It was literally just this. People saw a Radiant Tide and then people saw a standard pull and then they were just like, oh yeah, this is totally fake. But you can clearly see there's some sort of currency in the corner over here, and that's just confirmation of exactly what Kuro Games is saying over here. And that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. That's the amount of misinformation that people were trying to just go ahead and push just to diminish the actual compensation that's being done for this game. And it is incredibly unfortunate that there was so much of this being pushed forward. Please note that relevant compensations mentioned in our previous announcement will be issued via a dedicated login event, which is currently under development and scheduled to be launched within this week. And so, right, it is Monday. The patch is launching very far in advance, around 8 days from now. And so again, this does seem like a pre-anniversary sort of deal, a sort of pre-anniversary celebration, or really compensation, that the devs are going to be pushing out. Rewards will be claimable via login, and the start time will be shared in a separate announcement. And so, unless Kuro doesn't know what a week is, I think they should be fine. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's just very, very, very unfortunate at this point that there's this much misinformation spreading around. And this is the thing, right, guys? People are saying that I'm just coping. People are saying that I'm just lying when it comes to me saying that there are Hoyo shills in disguise brigading the anniversary feedback, trying to astroturf and cause as much problem as possible. People are saying that I am being a schizo when I say stuff like this. But at the end of the day, when there's this much misinformation that has come to such a head that CN Billy Wuthering Waves has to clarify it, and then Wuthering Waves on EN has to clarify it as well. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? If people are going ahead and they're trying to drive forward all of these different narratives and cause all of these different issues? I don't think I am. And the fact that you have the official company Twitter talking about all of this stuff and having to re-clarify all of this misinformation that is spreading around across the community and being pushed forward, unfortunately, by even CCs of other games to try to get a slice of the pie and create even more misinformation in the EN space, well, that's a bit unfortunate. So we'll have a follow-up video regarding this whole situation that you're seeing over here with Mr. I don't even know what to call him at this point. It's definitely not Pokey. I don't know what to call him at this point. Yeah, we have this whole situation going on over here based off of those unreleased assets that I was just talking about. And yeah, it's unfortunate. Hopefully you can forgive me showing a brief excerpt of a page just to clarify, right, where the misinformation is coming from. And we can sort of move forward on from this, knowing that A, the Wuthering Waves devs are listening. B, this isn't even related to the actual rewards, and it's related to the management, preparation, and delivery. And C, we actually have a lot more stuff coming. We actually do have a lot more rewards coming. And so the right stance to have when it comes to this anniversary and when it comes to the reveal of all this information, right, and clarification by Kuro Games, it's really a terrible idea for people to just have that viewpoint that these 37 polls that were announced was all we were going to get, and waiting just to hear more from the devs before freaking out and saying that this is a garbage anniversary and that it's complete trash. That was really the right thing to do. And we've got the words from Kuro Games themselves explaining exactly why. So just as like a specific example of what I want to talk about over here when it came to, you know, people jumping the gun, talking about the rewards, jumping the gun, and not really, you know, obviously this on all of us, right? Not recognizing that there are more events and updates coming soon. I just wanted to reaffirm, right, that take that we should have just waited a little bit more before making a final conclusion on the matter, right? We should have waited a little bit more before making a final take on what the rewards were actually going to be and, you know, how generous the patch actually was. Let's just take a look at this. And I guess reading the patch, we found out there was 10 more, and then we don't know how much the asteroid rewards are for the events. And so this is a podcast with a bunch of other CCs regarding the update. Who knows? It might be like fucking 40 overall if you like do everything.
Okay, wait. First of all, I don't think it's fair for us to speak in theoreticals, because if they were truly so good, I don't know why they wouldn't just announce them. Why would you...
That's a theoretical in itself. To say that if they were truly so good, they would have announced them, that's a theoretical assumption regarding the rewards. And this is the thing. It turns out that they did, in fact, announce them.
Let's pretend there's 100 hidden polls. They're not just going to be like...
We're not speaking in theoreticals. We're saying let's wait and see how much they give.
Yeah, that's speaking of theoretical, how much...
Let's wait and see how much they give. That's a theoretical.
That they're going to give. We don't know.
And so me asking that we simply wait for the actuals of what's in the patch is a theoretical.
No.
Wait, so
theoretical how much they're going to give.
So just saying let's wait to see how much they give before making a final judgment on how shit the rewards are.
We're not making a final judgment. This is not the final judgment. The patch has not hit yet. This is our initial judgment. That's what we're doing right now.
So yeah, that's just I don't get what the issue is here. I'm saying
it's right now it's a theoretical. It's not out yet. We don't.
And he just said, let's not speak in theoreticals. So this is the thing, right? When we have like this sort of opinion being pushed forward as like, I don't know, like the players take, oh, let's just take the initial thoughts, apply it to the whole patch, and then say that it's like a theoretical or not a theoretical. I think that this is, in my opinion, kind of damaging. I'm going to be real here. I do think it is kind of damaging. And when we have the devs themselves saying that this was just a management, preparation, and delivery thing, we have more plans, but we simply didn't make it more clear. Yeah, I think it's a little bit unfortunate, right? I do think it's a little bit unfortunate when we're going ahead and this is, you know, one of the takes that we have coming out of the anniversary, when we could just, again, we could just wait and see what the final rewards are, because I do genuinely believe Kuro at this point was just going to drip tease more and more news. They were going to drip tease more news about the rewards. There was actually more than those 37 pulls. And if people had simply had this announcement and it was more clear, it wouldn't have been as much of a problem. So with that, hopefully that makes that example that I was talking about with how, you know, the impact that CZs are having, hopefully that makes that a little bit more clear. And so with that, let me know what you all think. Peace.